Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. For those that already follow me and my health journey, you'll be aware of where I'm up to with my dental treatment. So for those that are new to my channel, just a very quick recap. 10 years ago I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and 6 years ago I developed chronic dental issues, and at one point it ended up where the left side of my face was paralysed, and I've lived in pain on that side of my face every minute of the day for 6 years, and that has led me to travel literally nearly the whole of the UK trying to find a biological dentist to help me with the work that I needed to be done. And from that experience a whole new world opened up to me that honestly, I had no clue about all of this, but once you know, and you can't undo what you know. And I have such a passion for this subject, and I felt I wanted to use my experience as I'm living it to share with others so that it would help raise awareness of the fact that what happens in your mouth doesn't just stay in your mouth. If you've got issues in that oral cavity, it can affect your general physical health and your mental health too. And it's not something that's widely talked about in the UK, unlike other countries. So I thought, right, I really want to use this opportunity to create awareness of this, because I think it's 1 in 3 people live in chronic pain. How many of those people could their teeth be impacting on that diagnosis? And they could end up having a much better quality of life if they had good dentistry to explore and resolve any issues they've got. So as I spent these 6 years travelling the UK meeting dentists from all different sectors, I couldn't quite find the right one for me. That we've all got our individual needs, and I always say it's a bit like trying to find a hairdresser, isn't it? You could have a parade of shops with hairdressers in, and one person says, oh, that person's absolutely awesome, and you go and you think, oh, I don't quite feel good about this, and you go to another one. And that's sort of how I felt about the dental sector, to be quite honest. And it isn't just, for me personally, it isn't just about the practical work that needed to be done. It was also somebody with the sensitivity and compassion to hold my to hold that space for me emotionally, where I felt safe and supported and understood. And it's been quite interesting since I began a podcast project last summer in 2020. I've come to speak to more people and engage with more people online, and people with past emotional issues and traumatic life experiences. It really impacts on you when you have to go for dental work. So it's really important, that compassion for people like me and like that. It's just really important. It's as important as the practical skills that dentist can bring. So I've found my dentist, Dr. David Harvey Austin, who's based in London, and he's felt like a miracle to me. He just like appeared out of nowhere, and I'm thinking, where have you been hiding away all this time? I'm so glad to find you. I'm not quite sure if he's glad that I've found him, but I'm glad that I found him. And I know quite a few people who are struggling emotionally and with trauma, and I've now got a dentist that I can say I know just the person that can help you. And it's great as well, because I'm seeing some other dentists coming through the system, and I'm getting really excited to see how their journey evolves, because we really need we just need a wave of biological dentists in the UK to give people a choice. And it's been very restrictive, really. So I'm actually really excited about what the future of dentistry holds for this country. So going back to me, true to form with me, if I have a life experience, I always like to try to use that experience for the greater good and to share it in the hope that it can help others feel not so alone, I suppose, and also to inspire them and give them hope and to motivate them to never give up. Because if I can do this, anybody can do this, truly. And people have said to me about my videos and said how great they are, and people have said to me, how on earth can you go to London to all these appointments and do all these videos? And I can sense some people probably think that I can't be as ill as what I profess to be, but I can assure you that I am, and my driving force is to be a catalyst or a seed for change, I suppose, to do my bit. And if that means making a fool of myself on videos, getting my words muddled up as I often do, and losing my train of thought, I've actually gone beyond caring about that now, because the message is more important than how I present myself. Because I'm real, I'm just like you, and I'm on a journey, and I'm never going to give up believing that I can significantly improve my health. And it's starting with my mouth. So forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but this link to the mouth, the brain, the gut, you know, it's a little triangle. Well, a big triangle, isn't it? And what goes on in one impacts on another, and everything's so interconnected. And it does make me wonder how many people who've got chronic illness have actually got dental issues. Who knows? Perhaps we will never know. So I'm sharing my journey as I go, right from beginning to end. And I've done a few videos now where, you know, I've come on recorded when I'm not in a good place at all. But those times are probably more important than videos like this, because it's showing people how deep this goes and how challenging it is. So I've had my 5 amalgams replaced 2 weeks ago, as I think I've already said. And this Thursday I'm having 4 infected root canals out. So to say I'm freaking out about this is an understatement. At 56, I never believed I would have had, well, I will now have 5 missing teeth, and this is a big deal for me, not just from how I will appear visually, but just the feeling of how am I going to eat? Is my, you know, how will it affect my jawbone? Just the whole functioning of my jaw, I think. So I'm trying to take it one step at a time, because otherwise it's just so really overwhelming me. And I think over the last week particularly, I've found myself becoming more and more withdrawn from my external environment, I suppose. And it's like I'm preparing myself mentally for what's coming, because there's a lot of emotion with this. And from speaking to people who've had extractions, I know other people have felt a huge sense of grief and loss and anger and just so many things. And it's really good to hear other people tell me that, because when you're in the midst of it yourself, it all feels a bit insane, really. And you're thinking, this feels like a real overreaction here. I'm still living, I'm still breathing. You know, at the end of the day, this is teeth that are coming out. And why am I getting so worried about all of this? And I'm not worried about the procedure. It's the afterwards and the build-up. It's the build-up to going in and then waking up and thinking, oh my God, my teeth have gone. So yeah, Thursday's going to be a biggie for me. So I wanted to just share with you something. I've just got some here I'm going to show you. Again, I'm thinking, right, I'm having these teeth out. how could I use this to evidence something, because I'm really wanting to somehow find as many diagnostics as I can before and after the procedure. So I've had my metal allergy blood testing, as some of you may have seen last week. I was back off to London again. So part of this analysis of what's going on in my mouth, I wanted these particular lab tests. I'd seen them by a nurse who I follow on Instagram in the States, who'd had this panel done, and the pathology report was invaluable to her. And I'm thinking, oh, of all the things, that sounds like a really good thing to do from reading her experience of it. So I've ordered it. It wasn't cheap, but I felt such a pull to get this done. And I know at the end of the day, we get the teeth out, we do the detox, and we move forward and not dwell on diagnostics. But this for me is because I feel almost like it's proof of something, to show what is going on in people's mouths that we might not be aware of when we have dead tissue in there. So when I get a gut feeling like that I need to do something, I have to listen to that and just go with it. Even though I may not understand why I'm doing it, I know in the future something's going to happen where this test I'm having done will be used for something. So that's why I've done it. So first of all is I've got this, which is a urine testing kit. So it's just got the little pot and a bag and an insulated bag to send back. So this all comes from Colorado, by the way. There's no labs in the UK do these tests. As far as I'm aware, I've rung round and spoken to the main ones and they'd never heard of it, but thought it sounded great. So who knows, we may get this in the UK in the future. I don't know, but yeah, so this is the test for the Lyme's disease, because I had a symptom checker done by a lab in Germany, and a lot of the symptoms I've got, I tick nearly every box for Lyme's. I may not have Lyme's, but it just felt like an opportunity while I'm doing this test that I can get that checked at the same time, so I can tick it off if I'm not. So the main one for me is this one. So with this, I have a test tube, and all my extracted teeth are going to go into that, and then into the bag and posted off with the urine sample for the Lyme's. So when this box was delivered, it took me over 24 hours to open it, I think. It felt, it affected me psychologically, thinking, oh my God, I'm posting part of my body across the world to have it looked at. And again, I know this sounds nuts, but that was how I felt. And my friend in Texas, Brenda, she's given me a really good perspective on this to try to help me to ground myself, because I'm finding it difficult. And she said, why don't you look upon this as you're sending your teeth for a purpose for the greater good, or words to that effect. And I thought, yeah, because I've been, for the last 18 years, my life has been dedicated to helping others in my voluntary work, and it's just in my blood. I like to help others and to make a difference. So I'm thinking, okay, well, sending my teeth over to Colorado, it could produce a result that could help other people. So that is helping me. So I'm really glad she came up with that perspective. So yeah, so that's Thursday. I'm staying overnight in London. I've got my natural remedies to support me with the bruising and pain relief, and I'll be glad to get home into my own bed the next day. So that's Thursday, and I just wanted to share a story with you very quickly. This has ended up a long one, isn't it? But I was chatting to my son about this the other day, and as I'd said it, I thought I need to share this. So I'm 56 now, and it was in my early 20s. I used to work as a sales rep, and I went to a local catering warehouse of a supplier that I knew, and I had lunch in their canteen. And I had this meal, and it had baked beans on it, and I don't know what else, but something in that meal broke part of my tooth off. And then that led me to have the tooth repaired. I mean, I can't remember in detail how it happened, but I had it repaired, I had it filled. I ended up having a root canal that failed. And then I had what is called an apicectomy. And that is where they treat the tooth. Instead of going up into the tooth, they go in through your gum, and they fill it through your gum. So that's what, 30 odd years ago. Ever since I had that procedure done, over the years, it's like all the teeth adjoining that have developed more and more issues, which led to more root canals. And now I'm in a position where, I say 6 years ago, where that surgery was done, an area swelled up to the size of a pea, and my face was paralysed on that side, and everybody was telling me it wasn't dental. And then I was going to the rheumatology consultant, who was telling me this isn't fibro, it's dental, and then I was just left to get on with it. And then where that area is on my gum, I've got what's called an amalgam tattoo. So there's all this black colouring on my gum. And ever since that day 6 years ago, I've had numbness, pain, tingling, stabbing pains, all the inside of my cheek. It's like it's spread throughout that whole bit of my jaw. And then when I had an OPG x-ray 6 years ago, it picked it up on an image where there is metal migrated into my jaw, and it is from that procedure I had done over 30 years ago, where they packed the root of it with amalgam. So, you know, there's a lot of emotion around that, and anger and upset and frustration and sadness, because if I'd have had access to biological dentistry back then, I probably would now not be losing 3 teeth in that area of my face. So it goes back to something I've said before about preventative health with not just your teeth, but everything. So if you can find a really good dentist to maintain your good oral health, hopefully in the future you won't be finding yourself sat in a dentist chair where they're saying to you, the tooth has failed, we need to do a root canal. So I'll give you an update after my surgery, and take care everybody. Bye.